to podcast number 4, and this is real life because it's been a rough knitting couple of weeks. Ooh, cheers.
So good. It's gin and tonic season.
What are we drinking?
Okay, so it's a local small batch. What do you call place that makes
we went
liquor?
right into drinking without introducing ourselves.
That's okay.
I'm Jeanette.
I'm Joan.
And we have to say
ahead.
where you can find ourselves.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Go for
Riley
it.
K on Ravelry and Nettie Keys on Instagram, Keys.
And I'm Units on Ravelry. And we're Knit1Sip2, TOO, on Instagram.
And we have a Ravelry group. So
Yes.
thank you to any of you who have watched us in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back, hopefully. Okay, so what do you call... Oh, distillery, that's it. Took me a minute. So it's a local distillery called Venus Spirits. They make several types of gin, and this one is, it's organic, which I would think that, like, gin, by the nature of it being gin, is organic, but okay. This one has juniper, cardamom, lemon, orange, angelica root, coriander, ginger, tangerine, licorice root, and lavender. And they number their batches. This is 58 out of 236.
Where did you buy it?
I got this at, I first saw it at Costco, but I haven't seen it at Costco in a while.
The lighting's funky there. That's
yeah, there
better.
you go. And Trader Joe's carries it every once in a while. Trader Joe's carries it every once in a while, and Whole Foods has it. And look, they even have a VenusSpirits.com little website, so you can see all their different liquors, because they do a bunch of different.
It's summery weather today, so it's a good gin and tonic day.
Yeah, and it's awesome for martinis. I just can't drink martinis and knit. It just doesn't.
Interesting.
Well, it could, but it would have to be really simple knitting that the gauge doesn't really matter that much on. So, and it's a lovely gin. It really is. What?
I don't want to get us off track,
No,
but
it's okay.
where is your project? Your pink project?
Oh, it's.
Oh my gosh, she's terrible. Okay.
I don't want to bore everybody. It's just garter stitch. It's just gone from this to this. So, and
That's
then
why you have a progress keeper.
Yeah, it hasn't. I'm not. It's. You know.
She's the worst.
Anyway, no, I'm not. Then in the gin and tonics, I love Fever Tree tonic water. It's awesome. And what I do is I mix that one with the light tonic water to reduce calories. So, highly recommend Fever Tree tonic water. It's really good. Anyway, so that's what we're drinking.
Yeah.
No limes necessary when you have a yummy small batch gin like this.
So, what are you wearing? I think it's something new.
I don't know. I don't remember. You start. I have to look it up.
Really?
It's been that kind
Oh,
of
but
day.
yours is new.
What am I wearing?
I am wearing a sweater I knit in the fall called Ranunculus. It's by Midori Hirose. And it's really fun. It's got an I-cord bind off on the sleeve, which is really awesome. I liked that a lot. It's knit out of uncommon thread fingering in the Colors of Croatia colorway. I bought it from Stitches West in 2017 for a different project completely, but then when I made this project, I put it with Shibui Cloud Cove, which was also purchased for a different project. There's a theme. And this is a really fun sweater, but I think it's probably not the most flattering on me. It's super short.
It's cute.
But you know what? I like
Cute.
it.
No,
And
it
I
doesn't
saw
look
something.
bad.
I'll pull it up on my phone. Oh, I won't because my phone's across the room. But I saw something on Instagram today that was somebody posted something more eloquently than me. But basically it was like F-bomb flattering.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like wear what you want.
So
it's
they liked
summer
it.
and
Oh, I like that idea.
butt flattering. And I kind of like, this is super cozy and I really like it, and so I'm gonna wear it. And
It's a great color for you.
Yeah, I bought the yarn, which is much brighter. It's made more dark by the Cove, But I bought the yarn when I was just letting my hair go gray. I need to wear bright colors phase, and then I felt like it was too bright. So now I'm okay. Like, because it has cove in it, I don't feel like it's too bright. But the yarn by itself, I felt like was too bright.
Really?
Teal. Anyway, but I really like the sweater. It's cozy. I wear it with a tank underneath, and I would definitely knit another one. It was super fun to knit and knit it up in like a week on a size 10 needle.
Really?
Oh yeah, on a size 10 needle. It was like no.
So is this the one I was watching Chelsea Pearls and I can't remember what the ladies' names are. Not the one that we
Christina,
met. No.
Miriam.
Miriam.
Public figure Miriam.
Yeah, Miriam said public figure Miriam. Miriam said something on there that there was a sweater that was like the jeans from the traveling jeans. It looks good on everybody. Is this the sweater that she was talking about?
I don't know. Was it the most recent podcast or the podcast before? I don't know.
I usually fall
Maybe.
asleep to them. So
Maybe. Yeah, it was super fun to knit, and I do
It's
think
just so
it would
cute.
be
Yeah.
the same on everyone. Like it's super fun. I would knit a summery one without the shibui,
That
without
would
the
be
mohair.
knit one without the mohair
Yeah.
and knit it. Yeah, that would be cute.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you wear a tank top underneath.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
comfy, especially here in Monterey.
Yeah, and this is I love this sweater.
It's really
This is
cute.
super comfy.
Really cute. And I think it's adorable on you.
It's fine. I
You're
mean,
shorter,
it's
you can wear
fun.
those short. See, when I wear short sweaters, it usually looks like I couldn't afford all the material.
Well,
It just
it does
it's-
cost less when you're short.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
true.
plus to being
That's true.
short.
That's true. It's true. So,
what are you
all
wearing?
So
'Cause
I'm
it's
wearing
beautiful.
it's the Hohi Locatelli V-neck sweater, out of don't tell me, Magpie DK Swanky DK.
It's beautiful.
I love it. I'm so happy with
The
it.
color, I don't know if the color's showing up
It's-
very well. Like, stand up and, yeah, that's better. It's a greenish gray.
See something. What's it? Siren Song.
Siren
So that's the name of it. Siren Song.
Sort of.
Let me
Sea siren song.
this.
Oh, it has cashmere in it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I did the changes that I made was I did the split hem.
Understated. That's what it's called.
Understated.
Yeah.
Oh, I left that part out. Yes.
Yeah.
Understated.
I was going to say undetermined.
And this is the
but
new one. Yeah, right. This is the one that she just came out with that
I like it a lot.
is out of a DK.
I like it a lot.
So
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
So this was quite the challenge for me.
How so?
Hang on as I get my stool situated. I really do need to get another rolly chair for us. So let's see. I frogged the sleeve like 3 different times.
Oh, yeah. You talked about that last podcast.
Yeah. So I finally got the sleeves right. Definitely. Everybody's got to make a note to make the underarm hole bigger unless you're really
I saw that
thin.
on another podcast too.
yeah.
She had to do the same thing. It was a
Yeah, and I
problem.
saw it on somebody's notes and everything, on Ravelry. So I split the hem, redid the sleeves. I tried the sleeves long, doesn't look good. Looked better shorter, so I redid the width of them. I didn't decrease at all. I think I added at least four more stitches to the sleeve to make it more roomy, and actually I might have added 6. I think I went up a size in the sleeve, and then added like 4 more stitches, and then it'll all be in Ravelry. How to redo this part twice because the number of stitches that I was trying to pick up according to the pattern I couldn't get, so I went smaller, but then this all puckered, so then I took it all apart and I actually squeezed in more stitches than she asked for because I didn't want the V to be up to here. I wanted it to be
I
a
like
little
it.
longer.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, that all being said, I like it. It was fun to knit. The best part was I was like, okay, now I've got to hunker down and sew in all these ends. And there weren't that many ends to sew in because it was all one piece.
Yeah.
So
And did you alternate skeins with helical knitting?
I did do the helical knitting, which
Which is awesome, right?
yes. Okay, so I alternated skeins, and you can kind of see here is where the skein alternating took place. Which I think the only reason why you can see the definition there is because I was probably too tight in my tension. So the next time I do it, it'll probably come out a little bit better, but I'm really happy with how easy it was. You've got to look it up on YouTube, but it was so easy to do.
You just drop one and
pick the other one up.
Yeah.
It was, and it only works when you're doing it in the round. Oh, the other thing is that I had to go up a needle size on my sleeves for some really weird reason. Even though I was knitting in the round on the body, the tension I was getting on the same needle size on my sleeves.
Pretty common. There's something about the sleeves that I think.
Yeah, maybe because I was doing on a magic loop or something, but I went up to a size 7 on my sleeves, whereas the body I was doing on a 6, and the all of the ribbing I did on a 4, except for this ribbing I did on a 6 because I didn't want it to pucker and I wanted to make sure it kind of came out a little looser.
Did you do any special bind off or anything?
Nope, just a regular old bind up, which I was really
how exciting,
really happy with it. So
a big FO, cool. I can't wait to hear what's next.
It's only my second sweater in the past. Gosh, I haven't knit sweaters in years.
That's cool. Do you have any other FOs you want to talk about? Or
I do, but only one, so you go.
Okay, well, I only have one tiny one.
My whip.
What's
over there?
Oh, I can get it for you when we get there. So I just have socks. Rose City Rollers again by Mary Catherine Briner. And these are knit
so cute.
Yeah, these are really fun. Patriotic. My son gave me this yarn. It's Cascade Wave in the Prince, I think it's called, in the Independence colorway.
I like the way it did with it.
Isn't that cool?
That's really wild, the way it did that there.
Yeah, it's really cool. I know, it's really cool. I like them a lot. So I haven't worn them yet. And
so cute.
I didn't block them because I just put them on the sock blockers.
Don't they automatically block when you put them on your feet?
Yeah, if they're not a gift, I don't care. So yeah, so that's my only FO. But they were fun to knit and quick, and so.
Oh, this is an FO.
Well, it's from the fall. Okay. If we had podcasted, it would be an old FO, but
yeah, that's true.
So okay, you're up.
So my other finished object is, I showed these a while back, my daughter's leg warmers, which I kind of just winged it and did my own pattern.
I love that grubby pink color.
It's okay, so that's Yoth's father, and it's called Pink Currant. It's 100% Rambouillet.
It's really soft.
It's really soft, and I said when I showed this as a whip that I was really, I remember walking around Stitches and trying to find the color that she wanted, and she wanted to have like speckles and blah 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 blah, and I was looking for something that was a blend, and then I just was like, forget it, screw it. I'm just gonna get the Yoth because I'd never knitted with it before, and I was like, well, this feels like it'd be soft, and it's only one skein project, so let me try it. And I'm so glad I did. I'm gonna knit more leg warmers that way out of yarn that I've never knit with before,
just
because
to try it.
It was.
Yeah, I feel like that way about sock yarn. It's really easy to, there's not much of an outlay, so you feel like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, so I'm just so happy. It even smells good. But yeah, so my daughter's really excited because she's going to be in ballet intensive next week. Oh, ballet, so competition season's over.
Are you a dance mom? That just started back up, that Dance Mom show.
Have you ever watched it? No.
Oh, I watched it from the very beginning, which is like my what's it called when you have your guilty pleasure? It's bad. It's bad. Fighting dance moms. It's bad.
You know what? I really try not to be a dance mom. It's my girls' passion. They enjoy it, and I support them in them enjoying it and having fun. And it's so much fun to watch.
I'm not sure what's happening with it.
It just shut off.
Our magic editor can hopefully.
I'll make it smooth. By the way, he had some music pop up in the middle of the video.
I heard, yeah. We need to pay our editor more.
I think he didn't like what we were talking about at the time, so he
just put music over us. He just put music over us. That's one way to edit. Yeah, we need to pay him more. Maybe we'll get a better product.
That'd be up to you. You just figure out the payment. I'll let you pay him. He belongs to you. Anyway, so no, I try not to be a dance mom. I really do. It's just, it can be crazy.
Yeah. There are women fighting over, well, I think my daughter's better, and I think my daughter needs this, and my daughter got a solo, and your daughter didn't.
And I don't think we have any of that. I mean, I don't encounter any of it at our studio, thank God. I think it's parents that are just exceedingly proud of their daughters.
Sure.
And, I keep trying to stress the fact that, look, you're not on a volleyball team, you're on a dance team. A team is a team. There is no I in team. Go out there and have fun. And, we're not curing cancer or governing a small island.
True.
So it's fine. It's all good. Have fun. Have a good time.
Enjoy it while you can.
But, Yeah, but that being said, yes, they have. So regular dance classes are over. Dance season's over. She's got her intensive next week, and then she goes away to SF Ballet for another summer intensive, and hopefully she won't lose these while she's there. So that's Cece.
It's exciting.
Macy has no interest in hip hop leg warmers. So anyway, that's my other finish off. So this was my own like winging it pattern. So
cool.
My hope is that I'll be able to come up with my own real pattern one day. I'll put on Mallory.
Fun. Is it like a broken rib kind
of? It is. It's a broken rib.
Cool.
And a lot of ribbing on the top, because I didn't want to run out of yarn, and so I started ribbing too soon, and I had to increase at one point. But anyway, so that was exciting. That was fun.
So that's all I have that's finished. Just the one little tiny pair of socks. It's kind of been a frustrating couple of knitting weeks. I mean, I think I've turned it around, but I started with working on my Leonie, which I talked about in other podcasts that was going to be my future knitting, right? Mm-hmm. So I started working with that. Let me see if I can find that yarn. And I spent one Saturday morning spending hours trying to figure out the right needle and the right gauge and the right cast on. Then it was the right cast on. It's bottom up.
Which one's the Leonie?
Oh, it's like a long sleeve t-shirt basically. It's that one that we saw at Stitches. Do you remember?
Do you know how many sweaters we saw at Stitches?
Yeah, but the one that I've seen a couple of years, and then so
the one with the thick and the thin.
Yeah.
All right, but let me find it for everybody else.
Well, Gary can put it in.
No, just keep talking.
So I started
Leone.
Leonie.
Okay.
So I started it, and after multiple gauge swatches, multiple needle sizes, trying to figure that out, then I how do I want to cast on? What's the best cast on for this yarn? What's the best cast on for this sweater? So this is the yarn. It's tacky. No, it's Taki Ripple.
Isn't it by
It's by Taki.
Church? No.
No.
The sweater.
No. The woman that we saw wearing it works there, or has something to do with there.
Okay.
Anyway, so this thick and thin stuff, it does not rip out. So when I twisted the cast on and didn't get that, and that was not my first cast on. It was like multiple cast ons, and finally I cast on and then knit a few rounds and figured out I twisted it. It's not rip outable. It just knots.
It's not. Is it as bad as mohair?
It's worse because of these thick spots. It just knots. It just goes into a knot. Like I would have to see it just.
Oh, that's frustrating.
It just knots because of the thick.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
So I would have to individually take it out. So I put it on timeout. Anyway, that was that. So
what is it under in your favorites? Is it under sweater?
Pullovers, maybe? I don't know. It's by Coco Knits. It's by Julie Weisenberger. Or it's in my queue, maybe.
No, I checked your queue already.
Oh. I lie. I
Is
don't
that
know.
it? No, that's not it.
I don't know. Anyway, Gary will put it in. No point in it's just plain. So then I picked back up my Big Love, which is by Anka Strick.
I can't wait to see that too.
And that I did a sleeve. And so the sleeve, the only thing I have left to do on the sleeve is the tubular bind off. It's got a tubular bind off. So this has been an interesting sweater to knit. Let's see, where am I? That's the right side. I'll try it on and I'll show you the sleeve. The sleeve's a little tight, and I did not decrease nearly as much as the pattern said. So, so this is my my Big Love sweater, which has great texture. It's awesome texture, and obviously I'm wearing 2 sweaters, so that's ridiculous. But
I love this sweater. It
Yeah.
would not look good on me.
it's got great texture, and it's been, you know, I really like
Didn't
the
you
pattern.
start this at Stitches?
No,
No?
I started it in March. The pattern is super well written, and it's very clear. There isn't too much information. Sometimes I don't like when they have too much information. And it's perfect. Like, I thought the pattern was super. And my favorite short rows are German short rows, and this is written for German short rows, so you don't have to adjust the pattern at all. And then it's got a tubular bind off. So I had trouble with the tubular
I
bind
love
off
the tubular bind off.
with the mohair in it.
Oh.
So I had to just cut the mohair and do straight one strand
Oh.
for the tubular bind off. But you can't
Really?
even
You
tell.
can't even tell.
You can't even
You know
tell.
what? It'll probably be better that
See,
way
this is
because
where I
it
gave
won't.
up on the mohair in the bind off.
Yeah.
And you can't even tell.
No.
Yeah. So I just need to do the bind off on the sleeve. But the sleeve is supposed to be, it's supposed to be 6 inches of ribbing and almost 12 inches of sleeve from here. And that's, my arms aren't that long. So that's too much for me. But
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the sleeve.
So cute.
Now, yeah. So I'm excited. I wish the sleeve were a little bit bigger, but I don't have very much yarn left. I only have enough for one sleeve, so I'm gonna just go with it the way it is, so that I don't have to get more yarn. And so yeah, this should be done pretty soon. I'm excited because it's a lot for this time of year. So I'll be glad to have it off the needles.
You know what
so.
you could do?
What's that?
Oh, no, that wouldn't work. Never mind. I was going to say you could save the mohair, but you need to save both. I was going to say don't do the ribbing in mohair, but
Oh,
it's not just the mohair that's
Yeah.
the issue.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway,
So
that's cute.
that's my what I'm working on. One of the things I'm working on. How about you?
So I'm still working on my Julie's wrap, which I'm not going to bore everybody with because it's just garter. I mean, I went from this much garter to that much garter. It's just garter, so it's not worth boring everybody with. But I'm very excited, and Christine, if you're watching, turn off your computer right now because I don't want you to see this. So my girlfriend whose daughter is pregnant and due in October, I knew my girlfriend's daughter when she was like 18 months old, and she used to carry around her blanket. So now that she's pregnant, I told her I would knit her blanket because her blanket was knit by her grandmother or great-grandmother. So this is the blanket I'm gonna knit. This Basse Tricot pattern. It's the chevron. Gary, help us out here and put. There it is. There it is. And I just thought it was so cute. And she's having a little girl.
Yeah, it is cute.
So, so these are the colors I picked. Oh, wait, I'm missing a color. It's over
What's
there.
your other color?
It's a light pink.
Oh, where is
It's
it?
it's in the family room in my
Did you
basket.
get it?
It's all right.
Did
I'll
you
send
get
it to you
it?
next time. No, it's okay. So we've got, it's the gray, so it'll be
That's
dark
nice.
pink, gray, light pink, green. So it's not this muddy, but it's like a much, so that'll look cute. Right?
Yeah, that's nice.
So, and I started swatching. It says to swatch on a 9.
That seems a lot.
And this says that it's a worsted. This
And
is
Pima. I've never seen this
Pima
yarn.
100. I got this from Monarch. Our
100, is it
OYS.
all,
It's 100% cotton,
Hmm.
which I
I
kind
usually
of
don't like knitting with
I
cotton.
don't. I do and I don't. I knit a lot of baby hats with cotton, so I'm fine with it.
I've never seen this. That's interesting.
But I wanted to make sure that it wasn't, because a lot of the ones that I was looking at were acrylic, and acrylic.
Yeah,
And
they're
I
easy
wanted
care.
it. Yeah, I wanted it to be washable. And I wanted
Yeah,
wanted it to be soft.
Yeah, it is.
So,
That's nice.
so I started on a 9, and I didn't even keep that bit of the swatch. I was like, you know what? No. Moved down to a 7. It's still really loose, so I think I'm going to probably settle on a 5 or a 6.
Well, you're a looser knitter, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'll probably have to adjust the pattern based on whatever swatch I get. But
How fun. When are you going to start that?
Like tonight. I
Fun.
mean, once I get the swatch, settled. And I'm so glad I swatched because I almost didn't. I was almost like,
I wouldn't. It's just, I'd be like,
it's
it's
a
just a blanket.
It'll
It's
be
a
fine.
swatch.
But I figured since it was cotton, it wasn't going to be as forgiving. So I thought I should.
That was smart.
Every once in a while, I get inspired.
That was very smart.
So anyway, so then the other cute thing is that, so I had knitted Sarah's sister, Casey, because I knew Chris when she was pregnant with Casey. So I knit Casey a blanket when she was a baby. And what my girlfriend Chris requested was they called them their B's, or their D's, their big D and their little D. I made her a little D. So she had the car blanket.
Oh.
So that, because she couldn't fall asleep unless she had her blanket.
Oh,
So she
so
had her
sweet.
regular blanket and then her car blanket. So I'm going to make a miniature.
Car blanket. Oh, how sweet.
So-
That would be sweet.
Yeah. So then that way parents don't have to panic if they bring the big blanket and it gets lost or broke, holes or whatever. It doesn't happen. So anyway, so that's my
Very cool.
work in progress.
Well, I had future knitting that I started the project, and this was the Sunday Tea by Petite Knit. So that's this pattern.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's out
So
of
cute.
fingering weight yarn. I bought it's a cotton and wool blend that the designer used, and that's kind of hard to find in fingering weight. But I found this Holst garn, and I had heard about Holst garn from the Yarniacs audio podcast, and they had talked about it. This is the J colorway, and so it's cotton and lamb's wool. Yeah, it's interesting yarn.
Ooh,
Well, you know what's
it's
interesting
really
about it?
squishy.
It is squishy, but it gets squishier after you wash it. So feel the difference between my knitted piece. Where's my swatch?
That is awesome.
Oh, and my tiny little swatch.
That's got some nice structure to it.
My tiny little swatch, it blooms, and they say right on there it contains a lot of spinning oil.
Oh my gosh, look at how small. What are you knitting this on? Oh, that's right.
I'll
This
talk
is the
about
one that
yeah. So it contains a lot of spinning oil. So they say that it will bloom and get softer with washing, and that is very true.
What's spinning oil?
I don't know. I never spun.
Oh, I was supposed to get those notes. Okay, I'm gonna do something
What
else.
notes?
I'll explain to you in a minute.
Okay.
It's been crazy.
There's a whole life of
I'm
it.
so.
So this is what I've started. So this is how I've gone so far. So this is on a size 0 needle. 0. Started with a 0. And then you're supposed to get up to a size 2, but I mean a size 3. I'm sorry, but this is very light fingering. If you can see, let me hold it up. If you can see, it's very light fingering. See? So
No, I can't.
So
Oh, it is.
it's very
not.
light fingering.
Would you call it lace?
No, they call it light fingering, but so I am knitting on a size 2. I didn't get up to a 3, and the fabric is a little bit more open than I think the designer intended, and I may end up knitting it a little bit bigger than my typical size so that I can have plenty of room. And so I hope that this will look nice. But anyway, we'll see. It's slow going. This is slow going for me because it's tiny and on size 2 needles. What the heck was I thinking? So that's my Sunday Tea. And that is by Petite Knit. So
I think it's so pretty, and you're gonna wear it a ton.
I hope
And
so,
it's
if I ever get it
Machine?
finished.
Is it? Yeah, right. I know. You know what? I'm hesitating
tiny.
doing another fingering knit. You're out of frame.
Oh,
another, because I want to do the see, you always remember the names of this. What's the one that, the pattern that I like that the woman from Church Mouse wore?
The modern wrapper.
Modern wrapper. I want to do that. I'm waiting for the perfect yarn. I think Plucky is having an update right now, so I'm thinking I might, if they come up with Primo Fingering Sport in a cream or like some kind of off-white, if it comes out like this weekend, because they've got an update going, it's mine. I'm starting it.
But you know, if you don't give yourself it, if you say, I'm just going to work on this, like this is actually relaxing knitting, and if I'm not on any deadline, then
yeah, I just, for sweaters, I'm fine like that with shawls, but for sweaters, I want them to.
you want to.
I get obsessive.
I get a little bit that way too.
So I don't know. I don't know. And then I get frustrated if it doesn't fit. And the other thing is with that modern wrapper, it's a bottom up.
But that's going to fit. I mean, that has no fitting. That's going to fit as long as you get the length right. There's no way you can screw that fit up on that. Really? Really? Trust me.
It's happened. No, trust me, it's happened.
No.
Well, I mean, you put it on and you're like, me.
So
I've invested all this time and energy, so that's where.
No, I get that. And then to continue my frustrating 2 weeks of knitting.
Yes, please continue by all means.
Yeah. So then I decided Chevy Rell, I love her podcast because she's just very casual, and so she has a book make along. So if you take something from a book, so I was going to knit some socks from Sock Architecture, but I started knitting these socks. And you could see that the pattern is kind of lost on this yarn. So instead of ripping it out, because I was lazy, I thought, oh no, I'll just keep knitting. I don't think it's that
bad. I think if you kept going,
I'll just keep knitting.
I think that...
I'm thinking I should rip it out.
No, I think that you should either, if you're going to rip anything out, just rip back to where the pattern... Do you like doing the pattern, or is it a pain in the butt?
Well, the pattern just is kind of... It's just too busy for the yarn, I don't agree.
I think it's fine.
I don't know.
Or do you not like the way the yarn looks?
I love the yarn, but I think it's much prettier in stockinette. So I bought this yarn several years ago from Etsy. It's Family Tree Yarns in the Crabin at Padstow colorway, which I don't know where Padstow is, but
sounds like it's in a book somewhere.
At Padstow. So I thought that was very creative. And what's cool, it's really nice yarn because, you know, a lot of times with the indie dyers, you get a difference between the socks. You know, you get some that's more heavily speckled than the other, but this one is not.
Right.
And then this mini I picked up in at Stitches West. It's Leading Men Fiber Arts in the Spiced Apple Cider colorway, and I picked it up for my crochet blanket. But yeah, isn't it perfect? Yeah. And I love the look of it, but I'm just kind of like, okay, should I be lazy or should I just rip back and start the crab and color and stockinette?
I think you should start this up here now. Do it in stripes.
In stripes, I actually thought of that.
Texture in stripes.
Yeah, I thought of that.
You know. But
so that's my sock project. My shawl project, the Hoarfrost shawl, got a few rows, but nothing to write home about. Yeah. So I have some more frustrating knitting to talk about, but you go.
I don't have any frustrating knitting or any of them.
You want me to keep going with my frustrating knitting?
Keep going.
So my frustrating knitting. So I have a sweater I knit. Oh, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. I don't know. I'd have to look in Ravelry, but it's called Sky Blue. And I knit it out of Barocco Maya, I think, in the vanilla flower colorway. And I made sleeves. It's a short sleeve pattern by Thea Coleman, and I knitted it long sleeves. And I wear it all the time, and I somehow stained it, and I've tried to get the stains out. I can't get it out. Yarn's been discontinued, but recently discontinued, so I just ordered it this week from a place in Illinois. So I'm hoping I'll be able to rip out the bottom of it and re-knit the bottom just so that I can have that sweater. Then I decided, in all my frustrating knitting, you know, some weeks I guess in knitting are like this, so this is my Puntilla sweater by Joji Locatelli, and I knit it like a year ago, but I don't know when I finished it, and I've worn it, but the neckline was super snug and it drove me nuts. So I ripped out the neck and I redid it, but now it looks really wonky and sloppy. I think that the yarn, I don't think I was very neat about picking up my stitches, and I think the
Don't you think it'll block
needle
out?
was too, maybe the needle was too big. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being perfectionistic, but I'll try it on and see. So I'm not that happy with that. Then I was super lazy when I finished the sweater and just did like stockinette and just finished it. Well, now that's driving me nuts. So I want to do ribbing at the bottom. And I could find where I cast off and where I bound off and everything, but somehow it's not working out very neatly. So I've tried and tried to take it out. Anyway, I put it on timeout. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
I just was going to pick it up and knit some ribbing.
Right.
But
But it's not working out that way.
it's not working out that way.
And that's a fingering.
It's fingering
See, that's what I'm
weight.
saying. It's so frustrating if you do a whole fingering weight and you don't really like it.
Yeah, I did helical knitting. It's in the snake colorway. It's
so
green.
pretty.
Surprise.
Third green sweater too.
I know. So I'd like to get that done too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what the next couple of weeks
You're going to
bring.
come back to the next podcast and
Have a less frustrating.
we'll have a less
time.
frustrating, and you're going to have a plethora of FOs.
We'll see.
So you'll have them all done.
So what else do you want to talk about?
So I went to a bat mitzvah 2 weekends ago and chatting with some of the people there, and Warren met this guy who owns a sheep farm with his wife. And sure enough, he points to her and she's over in the corner and she's teaching somebody how to do like that drop spindle.
Oh, how cool! I've never done that.
It was awesome. So the name of the you can find them on Etsy. It's Three Waters Farms.
Where are they?
They're North Carolina, South
Wow.
Carolina, someplace on the East Coast.
How cool!
Anyway, I'm terribly underprepared because I said, "Oh, I'm going to mention you," and then just life kind of got in the way, and before I knew it, you were arriving, and I just got out of the shower 20 minutes before. So anyway, so she and I chatted. She
Not
was
morning. We don't drink in the morning. Just FYI.
You know what? The day might have gone better if we did.
Bloody Mary's in the morning next time.
Ooh. Well, we did Bloody Marys on our first podcast.
It wasn't morning, but we could do it in the morning next week.
Yes, but then
Just sitting in
we
all
could do
day.
it in the morning next week because guess what? I am staying at home because
Right?
next
US
week is
Open.
US Open.
I know. I'm thinking.
They're saying like 250,000 people are
Yeah.
going to descend on the
It's
peninsula.
gonna be
So what that
messy.
means is our peninsula is that big, and we're going to have like that many people here.
Yeah, it's
So-
gonna be terrible. I know. I'm already thinking.
I'm hunkering down. I'm going to Costco tonight. I'm gonna buy all my food tonight.
Like you're,
And all
you're
my
hunkering
liquor.
down for a storm.
I am totally. This is like a snowstorm.
of
I mean,
people.
yay! Come here, spend your money. That's awesome, but stay off of our roads.
There just aren't that many of them.
Oh God!
Everyone
So,
keeps
yeah.
saying tax revenue, tax revenue, tax revenue. I know it's good, but I'm not all that
just-
excited about the U.S. Open.
I mean,
so
yay for golfers,
I guess.
but yeah. So I'm anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Major
so
inconvenience.
yeah, so
Back
we're
to
trying
Three
to
Waters Farms.
catch up. So Three Waters Farms. So, this woman's name is Mary Ann. So basically, what they do is they gather the wool. They have their own sheep, and I think that they get some wool from other places too.
Mm-hmm.
But they gather the wool, they grow the wool, and they do the dyeing, and then they sell it to various places. Anyway, so she was lovely. She was so great to talk to. She explained some of Instagram to me. She was so sweet. Her name was Mary Ann. So I said, we've got this knitting podcast. Would you like me to mention anything? She said, oh, that'd be great. So they do a thing called Tour de Fleece.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
So-
heard of it from the Knitmore pot. No, or Tour de Fleece. Maybe I heard about it from Stranded. Anyway, yeah, I've heard of it.
So she said it's an annual online spitting event, and it's inspired by Tour de France.
Mm-hmm.
And so there, and I'll give Gary all the information on where people can link to it. Three Waters. So the information is also posted in the Three Waters Farm Gazette, and I'll include the link. And she said they've got an Instagram feed and Ravelry, and so I'll include all that.
That's cool.
But she was just so sweet. She was teaching one of the ladies there how to spin, and she was trying to get me into it. And I'm afraid of spinning.
The same. My sister Dina actually knows how to spin and has a spinning wheel.
Sad.
And she taught me years ago, just gave me a quick lesson. But I think, do I need another hobby?
I think I would start to get overwhelmed with wanting to do, like right now.
Then you have to knit what you spin. Already I have yarn overload.
I know.
So that's what scares me about it.
Yeah, well, and the thing is it's a little bit too, like, grow the wheat to then mill the wheat. I need to get closer to the knitting part of it. I mean, maybe when the kids are out of the house, maybe I'll have time to learn how to spin then. But and I'm afraid to learn how to do it. I'm afraid I'm going to love it. And then I'm going to be overwhelmed with, well, do I want to spin or do I want to knit? Or do I want to do needlepoint?
Well, that's my thing is I don't need to add to my stash. And so then I would be spinning to add to my stash. Right. But you know what? People do it. Like Chevy Rell, that podcast that I watch, she's a great spinner, and I don't know. I mean, it's
so
cool.
does the gal from Chelsea Pearls. She spins. Yeah, well, she's saying on her Mother's Day, she's like, that's all she wanted to do was sit around and spin. Oh. So
I don't think at this point I have the time,
but it was really fun. It was fun to watch. I think I could watch spinning and knit.
I think it's very meditative.
Yes.
Which I find knitting to be meditative. I knitted through a meeting the other day. It was an online meeting, and I only had to answer questions out loud and, participate. They couldn't see me. So I just was knitting away, and it was awesome. I loved that meeting. I was so much happier at the end of that meeting than regular meetings.
I get it. I knitted through middle school award ceremony.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was sitting up there, and I kind of felt a little guilty because I'm sitting up there, and I could see they have like the principal and the vice principal, and then like all the teachers sitting up front. And every once in a while, like I'd be just sitting there, I'd be knitting, and I was trying to knit like close to my lap. And I'd be just knitting, and I'd see some of the teachers kind of doing this. Like they were trying to figure out what I was doing. So, but I actually was able to focus and listen and pay attention.
I think I can focus better.
Me too.
And I'm much happier when I leave.
Yes, and I was like, oh, look at all this stuff I got done. I mean, seriously. So
then I don't feel like, oh, this is miserable.
So, and then I brought it to another school event, but that event was happening in the chapel, so I just kind of felt guilty if I sat there and knit in the chapel, so I didn't. So anyway, so check out Three Waters Farms on Etsy. The people there are lovely, so generous, so nice. Check out their yarn, or their not yarn, fleece. Is it roving? Is it fleece?
Roving could be it.
I wonder what the difference is.
Fleece is like the whole thing, I think. I don't know. What do I know?
Fleece is what comes off the sheep, maybe, or something.
We know nothing about this.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, so I just wanted to mention that. And then...
Do you have any other future knitting projects?
I've got the blanket. I've got that wrap.
Do you have enough knitting for when you go away? Travel knitting. You're going to need to beef up your travel knitting.
I've got the yarn. So the problem is I don't have that much on my stash. That's why I'm like waiting. I don't have that much. I really don't. I have sock yarn, and I don't do socks well. I mean, look at how big that sock is. I
Give
don't.
it to Warren.
He's not going to wear that.
Why?
No, I think maybe
Gary
if I
would wear
wash it. If I wash it, maybe it'll shrink.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't knit socks well. So yeah, I mean, I could bring my scraps and start my scrap blanket, but I've got my
that blanket.
I do. I've got that blanket. I've got my Julie's wrap. I can always duck into what's the one that's up in San Francisco? What's the knitting?
Imagine It.
Imagine It. I can always duck in Imagine It and pick up some more
Yeah.
legging yarn.
Yeah, you won't be far away.
No. So-
I am going to start, as soon as I finish Big Love, I'm going to start DeShane. You know, I'm knitting from Stash. So there's a pattern DeShane that's been out for a couple of years, and it's knit out of a summery, linen-y yarn, and it's got a lace, like old shale lace pattern down the middle, and then it's just summery. So I'm going to knit that.
That's nice.
I think that, of course, I have to fix my puntilla sweater, fix my other white sweater once I get that yarn. Oh, I'm going to test knit a sock pattern for a
That's
woman
right, you said.
named Luli in the UK. So that'll be fun. It's got
fun.
several charts. Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
My sister's going to Edinburgh.
Is she inviting us?
No, but she's taking her husband, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, you know.
Okay.
So anyway, but she has offered to buy me yarn.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah,
okay,
so-
Anna Marie, I love you.
Yeah, you know.
You're my new best friend.
Well, so she was really sweet. So I'm gonna so I went online and she had found this store called Ginger Twist in Edinburgh. And this gal who owns the store, she has her own line of hand-dyed yarn. So, yeah. So Anna Marie's going to pick up, I kind of gave her like an idea of the yarn weights I like and the colors I like. So she's either going to hopefully get me something from there, or I went online and they have like a completely different like sheep variety there. And so I said, you know, these are like the different wools from the different sheep that I've never knit from.
How fun.
So yeah, so she's gonna get
It might
me
be woolly
some...
wool. Like woolly
Well,
wool.
I explained it. Well, so from the research that I did, it's not the wool that I was looking at. It's soft, and I can't remember. It's like mash or something. I don't remember the name of the wool.
Massa, maybe.
That might be it.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be soft. And so I told her that I don't like something that's crunchy or toothy. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, you know, what's the
that'd be
worst that
fun.
can
You have a
happen? It could be
while.
more leg warmers.
Yeah, and you have a while. We have
yeah.
Stitches Midwest coming up. We're going to
Yes.
Stitches Midwest.
Yes.
At the beginning of August, and then July happens to be our birthday month, so we're
That's right.
planning a special giveaway for our birthday month. Stay tuned for more details because we haven't quite figured out the secret sauce.
To be special.
I have some ideas.
Oh, you do?
We have
Okay,
some
good.
ideas, but
Okay, good.
we'll see.
Okay. I don't think we can ship alcohol though, can we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, that'd probably be bad.
Yeah, but we can
Sorry.
ship yarn.
We
That
could
would
ship
be
yarn.
fun.
That would be fun.
So that's all I have
Oh,
this week.
gadget.
Oh, gadgets.
That's all you this time.
The sock ruler is one of my favorite gadgets. If you're a sock knitter, I love the sock ruler. I've used it for toe up and cuff down, and basically, you know, you can it's just a great way to measure.
Here.
Yeah, great way to measure how, you know, you can get in the toe or the heel really well and then get a good measurement. So on this one, I don't know, these socks are done, so you wouldn't be measuring a sock that's done, but when you're knitting it, you know, you might, you know, want to knit to, I'm going to knit to 7.5, and then you can see very easily 7.5. And it doesn't sound that hard to knit with to measure with a regular ruler, but it actually kind of is. So this sock ruler has been really fun for me. I use it all the time. It sits in my knitting basket, and so the sock ruler, and I bought it, I think, on Etsy, sockruler.com. Sockruler.com.
That one, is that one mine or yours?
That one's yours.
I got that at Stitches.
Yeah, but sockruler.com.
Yeah.
So
Along with my little scale.
that's one of my favorite gadgets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I use that a lot.
for sock knitters out there, probably already have one. It's probably common, but
You know what
still.
one of my favorite knitting gadgets is? My iPad.
True.
I use it to look up all my patterns, to keep all my patterns. I like keeping my patterns, and sorry, we're doing another gadget.
No, I actually think this is really good, because how do you keep your patterns?
I keep all my patterns in Notability.
And mine are in Goodreader.
Okay, so
But there are apps, like you can get, what's that app that the Knitmore girls talk about? Anyway,
So I love it because, and I can't show this pattern. I mean, I can show this part of the pattern. It's understated. But the beautiful thing about it is that I can make notes on it. I don't know if you can see my writing on it. Yeah, well, I can't see the writing. But anyway, you can make notes on it. You can type notes on it. I can keep track of where I'm going. I can erase it, start all over again. I love Notability on my iPad. It organizes all of my patterns. So I've got all notes, recent notes. This is going to give Gary a nice little...
And Goodreader, I think, does a
So,
similar thing.
Yeah. Oh, really? Can you make notes on it too? Yeah, I...
There's also a paid one. I wonder if anybody uses it. Any of you watching out there? I heard about it from the Knitmore girls. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to. Yeah, you pay for the app, and so if you're doing charts, I think it might be helpful.
Okay.
But yeah, this is cool.
But yeah, no, I love this, and I know that the pattern is always going to be there. Like, it's not, oh, where did I put that pattern? And it's just always there. My notes are always on there.
And not to get too far off track, but I saw in Ravelry a new feature is you can make your own private notes. So you know how you write notes in your pattern notes that everyone can see? Well, you can do your own private ones.
Oh.
Like this, you know.
So that the boring, like this was, I
Yeah.
swatched 12 times and this is what I
Exactly.
came up with. You don't need to share with everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Oh, that's helpful.
New feature.
Yeah.
Ravelry's amazing.
It is.
It's changed my life.
You know, they got
Ravelry
written
has
up in
changed my
like the
life.
Wall Street Journal or something, or they're awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope those people have made a lot of money.
Ravelry has changed my life.
Yeah, and me
Seriously.
too. Me too. Do you still have to get an invitation to join? Like, I remember
No.
you'd have to register and say, "Hey, I want to join," and then they would email you back and say, "Okay," like after like a week or so.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It's the bomb. Whoever thought of Ravelry?
I know, right?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well, now
So, yeah.
we're
I think that's it.
meandering, but that's it. Happy knitting, happy yarn dreams.
Yes, happy
May all
sipping.
your knitting dreams come true.
enjoy the summer. Enjoy the beginning of the
We'll
summer.
be talking to them next week.
I said to
or
the
week
girls,
after.
yeah, I said to Macy, it was like, it's already June 9th.
I know what happened.
9th?
June
7th?
7th.
7th, see?
Friday, June 7th today.
It's already
yeah.
June 7th. It's
No.
like, I thought it was just June 1st. And
No, it's almost Father's Day. And then Independence Day, yeah, and then the summer will be gone. Boom.
I know.
Done.
Well, that's the other thing is that I'm leaving, and when I leave, I don't come back for 3 weeks.
Oh, your summer will be gone.
And it's
no,
gonna feel
no,
like-
no offense, but
No,
it'll be
I
gone.
know.
It'll be gone.
Hopefully, I'll be doing lots of knitting while it's gone.
Yeah, I hope so too. All right, thank you for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.